Sringadev Bhagwan ki jai. Hare Krishna. One moment, please. I'll just open the book. In the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we begin with the description of the appearance of the two brothers and what happened after Hiranyaksha was killed. As described in this chapter, the second chapter of the seventh canto, after the annihilation of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyaksha's sons and his brother Hiranyakasipu were very much aggrieved. Hiranyakasipu reacted very sinfully by trying to diminish the religious activities of people in general. However, he instructed his nephews about a history just to diminish their aggrievement. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as the boar and killed Hiranyakasipu's brother Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakasipu was very much aggrieved. In anger, he accused the Supreme Personality of Godhead of being partial to his devotees and derided the Lord's appearances for Ra to kill his brother. He began to agitate all the demons and Rakshasas and disturb the ritualistic ceremonies of the peaceful sages and other inhabitants of earth. For want of the performance of yajna, sacrifice, the demigods began wandering unseen on earth. The situation became so difficult that the demigods were taken a disguise and just disguised themselves like ordinary people because Hiranyakasipu was just harassing and prosecuting everyone in the entire universe. Hiranyakasipu appeared at a time when Vedic knowledge was very widely known. And because Vedic knowledge was known to all, even a demon was learned in Vedic philosophy. So after finishing the ritualistic funeral ceremonies of his brother, Hiranyakasipu began speaking to his nephews, quoting the Shastras about the truth of life. To pacify them, he spoke as follows: "My dear nephews, for heroes to die before the enemy is glorious. According to their different fruitive activities, living entities come together within this material world and are again separated by the laws of nature. We should also know, however, that the spirit soul, which is different from the body, is eternal, unadjustable, pure, all-pervading, and aware of everything. When bound by the material energy, the soul takes birth in higher or lower species of life, according to varying association, and in this way receives various types of body in which to suffer or enjoy. One's affliction by the conditions of material existence is the cause of happiness and distress. There are no causes, and one should not be aggrieved upon seeing the superficial actions of karma." Hiranyakasipu then related a historical incident concerning a king, Suyagya, who resided in the country named Ushinara. When the king was killed, his queens, overwhelmed with grief, received instructions which Hiranyakasipu quoted to his nephew. Hiranyakasipu related an account of a Kalinga bird pierced by the arrow of a hunter while lamenting for his wife, who had also been shot by the same hunter. By narrating these stories, Hiranyakasipu pacified his nephews and other relatives and relieved them of lamentation. Thus, having been pacified, Diti and Rusabanu, Hiranyakasipu's mother and sister-in-law, engaged their mind in spiritual understanding. Okay, so we're setting the scene, and it is very interesting that Hiranyakasipu has knowledge about the from scripture, and that he was preaching very nicely, that when his brother had died, that actually simply whatever occurs in one's life is actually happening according to the law of karma, the reactions to one's previous pious and impious activities, and therefore that there is nothing lamentable in the unfolding of destiny. Then, after pacifying the family and speaking very nicely, we could see that this was simply an external. It was simply an external part of culture that had not at all registered or penetrated in his consciousness. He was simply what is called rendering lip service. That was all. But nonetheless, he could have passed for what we would call today a pious Hindu. Oh yes, he performed all the ritual very nicely. Oh yes, and he even knew the philosophy, and he even knew what to say. He even knew very well what to say at the time of a funeral ceremony. All the proper words were spoken. But after this funeral, Hiranyakasipu became absorbed in his true reaction, which was anger, burning anger at Vishnu, who had betrayed his brother. Because after all, Vishnu was one of the Devatas, and the Devatas had a particular region in the universe and had nothing to do in these lower regions. And somehow or other, by trick, he had killed Hiranyaksha. By trick. So now, Lord Vishnu, Vishnu had become partial instead of being impartial. Yes. Vishnu as the foremost of the Devatas should have been impartial and should have just followed the order of the universe and let both the demons and the Devatas get what was due to them. But he became partial and he became envious of the Daityas. And the result was that he treacherously killed Hiranyaksha. Now, after that, Vishnu, right, knowing very well that next he would have to face Hiranyakasipu in fear, was quickly hiding. Oh yes, he was quickly hiding. And where was he hiding? He was hiding in the hearts of the devotees, in the hearts of the living beings, actually. Hiding in the hearts of the living beings, and therefore Vishnu was now invisible. But as soon as he would appear, Hiranyakasipu was ready to deal with him anytime. Meanwhile, that burning anger needed to be expressed, and so Hiranyakasipu began to terrorize the universe. Then he decided that in order to attain unrivaled supremacy in the entire universe, that he would appear, that he would perform great austerity, and performing these great austerities so that he could get the benedictions, and that everyone in the universe would be subjugated by him. In this way, Hiranyakasipu was thinking. And he performed austerities like no one had ever seen. He stood on his toes, his arms raised to the sky, and it is said that he stood there for such a long time that even at one point, ants were beginning to eat his body, and then they were even making an ant's hill at the base of his body, and they began to eat all the flesh of his body. And in the end, only the bones remained. But Hiranyakasipu maintained his life air, and he stood there as a skeleton, still focused on his vow with the desire to make Lord Brahma appear. In due course of time, Lord Brahma appeared on his swan carrier. And as Lord Brahma appeared on his swan carrier, he threw some water from his kamandalu, from his water pot, upon the skeleton body of Hiranyakasipu. And the body became rejuvenated. And now, looking very fresh and young, nicely covered in flesh and everything, Hiranyakasipu looked better than he ever did. Shining, golden, effulgent. Ah, yes. Oh, Hiranyakasipu knew. Now I am attaining my goal. I'm attaining my goal to have unrivaled supremacy in the entire universe. And then, who is there in this universe anyway who could stand up against me? So Hiranyakasipu wanted to rule over all planetary systems. Yes. But there was one complication. And that one complication was that although there was no one who could really defeat him, of course, right? But time is the most destructive force in the entire universe, greater than any weapon, greater than any force. Was there any force that Hiranyakasipu could not have dealt with? If someone would have thrown a mountain at Hiranyakasipu, he could have simply smashed it. That would not have been a problem. But time, the weight of time is so much greater than the weight of a mountain. And Hiranyakasipu, he understood that there was a problem. There was a problem. So he approached Lord Brahma for the boon of immortality. Lord Brahma said that, this would be wonderful. It would be wonderful, but what to do? I myself don't have immortality. So as I don't have immortality, how can I give you what I don't have? Therefore, ask something else. So, all right. Then Hiranyakasipu, who not only considered himself physically very, very powerful, who not only considered himself like the strongest person, but also the most intelligent person. What can be done somehow or other? Not everyone has that much brain, and I happen to have. So Hiranyakasipu thought that he was very, very smart when he asked Lord Brahma, all right, give me the benediction that I may not be killed by any man or any animal. Tatastu. Give me the benediction that I will not be killed by any weapon. Tatastu. Give me the benediction that I will not die in the day or not in the night. Tatastu. Yes. Give me the benediction that I will not die on earth nor in the sky. Tatastu. Give me the benediction that I will not die inside nor outside. So be it. Tatastu. Give me in this way. Hiranyakasipu thought he had intelligently eliminated all the possible causes of death. And in that way, he was sure that he had become immortal. So this immortality is a big theme in the pastime. The desire to conquer death. This desire is not so extraordinary. After all, we also wish to prolong life, isn't it? We also, today I listened to one sannyasi's lecture, and he was saying, yes, we have so many arrangements to go to a hospital with great machines to somehow or other extend our life. Quickly, quickly, emergency. Quickly, take him in. Quickly, quickly. Put him in the ICU. Yes, life support machine. And yes, we can still keep him alive on the machine, although he's not conscious. Shall we pull the plug? No, not that. Life is so precious. Life in this world is so precious. We must do anything to keep it. But if we do die, if I do die, then freeze my body and keep it in a block of ice for hundreds of years, so that when it comes to the point that modern science will have progressed further, that they will be able to revive me again. Because somehow or other, let me be immortal. Oh, I don't want to die. Oh no. Oh, Corona, please, I don't want to die. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Anything. I'll hide myself in a closet as long as I'm still alive. Yes. So we can see how the mentality of Hiranyakasipu is not unique to Hiranyakasipu. It is the mentality of one who has no vision. Naham prakasa sarvasa yogamaya samavrita. One whose consciousness is avrita, who is covered. Kamarupena kunteya duspurena nalena cha, whose consciousness is covered by lust. This kamarupa, this lust, this form of lust is obsessing the living being. And as a result, all we can see is the material world. Lust is not just relating to sexual activity. Lust deals with the desire to enjoy the material energy through our senses. All of them at the same time. My tongue, my ears, the smell, touch, all these various sensual perceptions are pleasing me very much. Oh, yes. Oh, how can I ever give that up? No, I'm only 88 and still going strong. So I'm still young, right? So I think I will get married again. Yes. And death? No, no, don't speak of it. No, no, I put my head in the sand. It doesn't exist. I close my eyes. I don't hear it. Death? No, 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 that is taboo. No, no, we don't speak of that. No, we don't see any dead bodies. No, no, no. Try and block it out. That is the best. I went to a doctor, and the doctor was doing tests and maybe checking if there was cancer, uh, and then he said, and yes, he said, but even if there's cancer, even if there would be, there's a lot we can do. There's a lot we can do nowadays, a lot. I said, yeah, but it doesn't always work out. There are also people dying of it, right? I just mentioned to him. And he said, no, no, don't think about that. Don't think about death, right? Because, you'll only get depressed. Don't think about it. So this is the modern man who is a toothless tiger, who has no strength and no power. What can we do to overcome death? Therefore, the best solution is the ostrich solution. Head in the sand. Don't look at it. Don't hear about it. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Death does not exist. So just see, oh my little Hiranyakasipus. Oh yes. Yes, you also like a soft bed. Ah, you do. Yes, you also like gold and jewels and money. Oh yes, money, 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 money. Because with money, maybe it cannot buy you love, but it can buy you many things. And I love the money. So that part is that I already have. I already have love. So I don't need to buy that because I have love for money. Yes. So therefore, uh, the name Hiranyakasipu would fit very well on the t-shirts of many. Well, so much for that. Immortality. Immortality is a big thing. Oh, do you remember? Do you remember this boy, Prahlad? Do you remember? Yes, when he was in the womb of his mother, the demigods thought that must be a big demon. He is the son of Hiranyakasipu. We must take action. And so they wanted to kill the child. But Narada Muni, the spiritual master of the Devas, he told them, no. This child, Narada Muni, is Trigalagya. He knows past, present, and future. Narada Muni, he is as all-pervading as the Supersoul. And therefore Narada knows the thought of every man. Narada knows. So Narada knew very well that no, this child is not a demon. This child is a devotee. So Narada then he told Devatas not to do anything. Oh no, against this child. And he personally, to make sure that they wouldn't change their mind, because he knew the demigods, they of course listened to me, but then when I turn my back, then maybe the old fear will come back and they might do something. Therefore, he decided to take Kayadu, the wife of Hiranyakasipu, along with him to his ashram. And there she was given some quarters, she stayed there, and he also instructed her in Srimad Bhagavatam. And that knowledge of devotional service to Krishna was heard by the child in the womb. And although the mother didn't become so deeply touched by this, the child in the womb did. And it completely transformed him. He became a devotee right there and then in the womb. And not only a devotee, but he fully realized that transcendental knowledge. And so he became a fully transcendental personality already in the womb. So when Prahlad finally appeared in this world, Prahlad was an extraordinary personality. Immediately, he was completely transcendental, a transcendental child. That's why he had the name Prahlad. The names are interesting because Hiranyaksha is, you could call him Goldie Eye, right? You know, here and Hiranyakasipu, just golden bed, you know, golden bed. Yes. So the essence of life, right? That was his T-shirt. And Prahlad was called Prahlad. Alat means ecstatic happiness. And Prakrishta Rupena means to be completely absorbed in such happiness. So that was Prahlad. Pra is short for Prakrishta Rupena in its full-fledged form. So completely absorbed in transcendental happiness. As a child, he would be in trance. As a child, he was in samadhi, and they would call him, but he would not even respond. But anyway, his father didn't take that very serious. His father was also not spending so much time with his son. His father had important things to do, right? I mean, he was the ruler of the universe, a whole universe, right? And, you know, so naturally, his father was busy terrorizing the universe and so on. But he sent his boy to Gurukul, which was the culture. That's what you did, right? That was the school. So, you know, he sent his boy to Gurukul, and yes, that was arranged because they had a very, very good spiritual master. Oh yes, Sukracharya himself. Sukracharya, he was the spiritual master of the demons. Later, we see that at the time of Prahlad's grandson, so the great-grandson of Hiranyakasipu, Sukracharya was still the guru of the Devatas. But somehow or other, during this time, the guru was absent. He was not personally present, but his sons, Sanda and Amarka, they were there. So Sanda and Amarka were appointed to take charge of the education of Prahlad, along with the education of all the other prominent sons, right, of important personalities in Hiranyakasipu's kingdom. Yes. So everything very nicely arranged. And Sanda and Amarka began to teach the knowledge of politics. Yes. And Sama, Dana, Beda, and Danda. These are the four principles. Sama is, we try and work it out with someone and come to some common understanding. Sama, reconciliation, some consider. Then we go for Dana. if it doesn't work, that you cannot convince someone and reach a common ground in politics, next thing is you give him something, and you give him plenty of things, and in this way the person becomes obliged to you. Right? So then how can he disagree? And you make him dependent on you. See, you give him all this opulence and so on, and he knows you gave it to him, and he also knows you can take it away anytime. Mm-hmm. Then he's vulnerable, and he knows that you are the supplier of his wealth and his enjoyment. So he will be afraid to disagree with you. You'll get him on your side. Dana. Pretty good. If that doesn't work, you create division, right? Yes. Do you know that what your family is saying about you? No, do you know? You don't, right? But actually, listen to what your father said about you. My father? What did he say? Listen what he said. Huh? Division. No, I don't believe it that he said that. No, how could he say this? No, division. We see that, for example, in the Ramayana, how Mantara, that hunchbacked lady, went to Kaikeyi, and Kaikeyi was very happy that Ram was supposed to be crowned king. And then Mantara says, "You fool, you are lying there enjoying, not understanding that your days are over. When Ram is crowned king, Kausalya, his mother, she will become the favorite, and you will disappear into the background." You see? Politics, Veda, sowing division. Yes. And finally, there is Danda, the argumentum ad baculum, or violence. Just violence. You don't agree with me? All right, bang. I hit you over the head. That usually works, right? If all the others fail, then ad baculum is the best argument. Just hit him on the head. Hit him over the head. That shall fix them up. Yes. So, in this way, Prahlad was learning the art of politics. And he did well in school. He did well. He learned everything. He wasn't very interested in it, but he learned everything. Oh, yes. He learned this art, and when his teachers asked him questions, he comprehended everything, and he was able to answer the questions properly. So the teachers were very proud. So the teachers thought he's doing well. We can now present him before his father. So, and of course, when the father asked, my dear boy, yes, tell me, what is the best thing you have learned from your gurus? Now, Prahlad felt a little bit uncomfortable because, after all, when you say gurus, he could certainly not accept Sanda and Amarka as gurus or as bona fide gurus. They're not gurus. It's like Narada Muni was his guru, but not Sanda and Amarka. They were not gurus. So then his father didn't ask, what did you learn from Sanda and Amarka? Otherwise he would have said what he'd learned. But his father asked, what did you learn from your gurus? So then Narada Muni and the Supreme Lord himself, they were his gurus. And so he explained, Sravanam Kirtanam Smaranam, Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. He explained that there are 9 processes of devotional service, hearing, chanting, remembering, Padasevanam, Archanam. He was explaining Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, Vandanam, I forgot. So, like that, he gave the 9 processes of devotional service as worshipping the deities, serving the lotus feet, offering prayers, developing an attitude of servitude, understanding that one becomes completely friendly with the Supreme Lord. One understands the Lord is my best friend. And one becomes friendly disposed towards the Lord. Anakulya. And finally, to surrender completely, mind, body, soul, completely to the Supreme Lord. Atmanivedanam. So in this way, Prahlad was saying, this is the best I've learned. Well, now Hiranyakasipu had developed an allergy. I mean, it's very common, allergies. Lots of people have allergies. Some are allergic to peanuts, which is a problem on Ekadasi. Others are allergic to, to insects. Some people are practically allergic to anything, right? Dust mite, cats, Hiranyakasipu had become allergic to Vishnu. So as soon as Prahlad said that name, Vishnu, that was just too much for here. His own son had become like corrupted by the enemy. He had been corrupted by the arch enemy. And here his son is speaking about the glories of Hiranyakasipu's arch enemy. This became too much. Anyway, then he's thinking, well, he's just a child. He's just a child speaking rubbish. That's what children do. They speak nonsense. We can't take that so serious. So his anger subsided. Yes. And he chastised the teachers. And he said to the teachers, it is your fault that somehow or other a Vaishnava has corrupted this child. And it's like, the teachers, it's like, we don't know how it happened. It's like Hiranyakasipu said, and you re-educate him. And if this happens again, you know what that means, isn't it? Yes, Mr. Hiranyakasipu, of course. Yes, definitely. Yes, sir. Yes, boss. Whatever you say. Yes. No, we are dedicated to you because you give us the money, and whatever you say, you pay us. We will never disobey you because you are giving us all that we enjoy in this world. Yes, boss. In this way, the Sandas and Amarkas make up our workforce. And yes, every day, the Sandas and Amarkas are going to office. And every day, the Sandas and Amarkas are faithfully working because they are purchased. They have lost. They have lost their courage. They have lost their strength to rely on the Supreme Lord. They rely on other securities. Well, I need a job. No, what if I would be out of a job? Now think about that. It is hard to get a job these days. It is. And what if you would lose your job? How are you going to meet the payments on your car? Did you think about that? Right? Oh, yes. And the house, It's not paid off. And if you miss the payments on the mortgage, what will happen? The bank will repossess it, and then you'll be on the street. Do you want to be on the street? Oh, no. No, I don't want to lose my job. Yes, boss. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, my dear Sunda and Amarkas. Oh, yes. We cannot risk our material security. Oh, no, we cannot. And then, oh, yes. So Sunda and Amarka begged forgiveness from Hiranyakasipu, took Prahlad and got out of there. And when they got home, they set him down and they said, and now you tell us. Now you tell us, Prahlad, what happened? Who told you these things? Huh? First, how did you hear about Vishnu, Prahlad? And Prahlad was simply saying that actually, I heard simply from Sri Hari. Yes, I heard the transcendental knowledge from Sri Hari. He didn't want to say Narada Muni because then Narada Muni would become arch enemy number one. And ultimately, naturally, Narada Muni anyway got it from the Supreme Lord, Evam Parampara Praptam. So he was speaking correctly. Nati vidu Swartakatis. No, sorry. Dharmam to saksat Bhagavat Panitam. This knowledge anyway has its origin with Sri Hari. So it came from Sri Hari. Ah, yes. Oh, Sanda and Amarka were not so pleased with that. And Sanda and Amarka, they didn't like that answer and they said, no, you must tell us. So first they tried with conciliation by speaking sweetly and trying to sort of get him to tell the truth. When it didn't work, they could see that nothing would work. And they said, bring the cane, bring the cane. And they brought the cane and they took the cane and they hit it on the table with full force because they were afraid. They were afraid to use the final act of diplomacy, danda, the stick, right? Violence on the son of Hiranyakasipu. You know, because you don't mess with the son of Hiranyakasipu, do you? Oh no, who is going to mess with the son of Hiranyakasipu? So they hit on the table, bang, bang, clang. But Prahlad did not tell anything more. So, oh well, then they tried to re-educate Prahlad and be very, very careful. Meanwhile, Prahlad, right, was incorrigible. He was completely absorbed in his focus on Lord Vishnu. It wasn't just something that would come up sometimes, that he was a devotee, you know what I mean, but also doing a few other things. I know I like Krishna, but I also like to dance, you know, and I also like to do things in the world, you know, like I like some sort of music, even if it is not about the Krishna, but I like it because it's just so beautiful. Oh, I like it. Yes, and I also, yes, I like many things in the world. Prahlad didn't have this. Prahlad didn't have this division in his Krishna consciousness. Prahlad had one pointed focus on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is all there was in this way. Prahlad, right? Prahlad was an Ekanta Bhakta. He had only one goal in life, to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Ah, that is our Prahlad. Yes. So, whenever the teachers would for a moment leave the students alone, naturally the boys wanted to play. But Prahlad, he didn't want to play. So the boys saying, and Prahlad was the boss because he was the prince, he was the son of the king. Yeah. So naturally Prahlad was the most respected amongst all the boys. And then he didn't want to play. So it's like, come on, Prahlad, come on, hey, Prahlad, Prahladi, let's go. Laddie, laddie. Hey, lad. Hey, laddie. Let's pray. Come on, laddie. Hey, let's have some fun, lad. Hey, lad. You know, are you ready? Oh, yes, laddie. Come on, yeah. So let's play. But Prahlad was not tempted to play like an ordinary lad because he was Prahlad. He was the transcendental lad, the one who was completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And so he remained serious and wouldn't play and said to the boys, no, you are wasting your time. Now that we have gone so far in the story, I think the time has come for us to open up the Bhagavatam and have a look at it. And let us go there. Prahlad instructs his demoniac schoolmates, and we'll just start somewhere, let's say at text number 8 in chapter 6. And Prahlad was saying to his schoolmates, one whose mind, he said, Dura purena kamena mohena cha baliyasa she samgrihi sushaktasya pramattasya payatihi. One whose mind and senses are uncontrolled becomes increasingly attached to family life because of insatiable lusty desires and very strong illusion. In such a madman's life, the remaining years are also wasted because even during those years, he cannot engage himself in devotional service. We have to go a little back. Yeah. Okay, so Prahlad goes. Let's see. Therefore, while in material existence, bhavamasritaha, a person fully competent to distinguish wrong from right must endeavor to achieve the highest goal of life, as long as the body is stout and strong and is not embarrassed by dwindling. Pumsuvarsa satam yayustat aridam sajitat manaha nisvalam jataso ratriyam shitendam prapitas tamaha. Every human being has a maximum duration of life of 100 years, but for one who cannot control his senses, half of those years are completely lost because at night he sleeps 12 hours. Sleep is very important. It's for your health. Oh no, if we don't sleep, we cannot function. And the bed, it is soft, it is warm. Oh, the pillow, we are embracing this pillow. And in the morning we say, oh my pillow, how I love you, how I love you. How can I leave you? No. How can I go from my bed? No. I will snooze a little longer. Snooze button. Oops, I didn't hear anything. I don't know what it is. I put it on the loudest alarm tone, but I just don't hear it. Of course, I want to wake up, but I just don't know what it is. I just don't hear the alarm. Yes. So every human being has a maximum duration of life of 100 years, but for one who cannot control his senses, half of those years are completely lost because at night he sleeps 12 hours, being covered by ignorance. And therefore, such a person has a lifetime of only 50 years. Half is gone. Okay, that was half. Half out of the window. Then Mugdasya balye kaishore kridatu yati vimsati jayagrasta dehasya jatiya kalpasya vimsati. In the tender age of childhood, when everyone is bewildered, one passes 10 years. Similarly, in boyhood, engaged in sporting and playing, one passes another 10 years. And oh yes, ooh, it's a big match. It's a big match. It's not cricket. Let's say football, soccer, right? Oh, yes. It's a big match. No one on the street. Everyone's in front of the telly, right? Everyone is watching. Oh, yes, it's a big match. You know, England, of course, is playing. Oh, dear. You know, against Brazil. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. That is a big match, eh? What's going to happen? We know, but we won't say it yet. What to do? Anyway, and here there are all these men, 23 men in the field, and 2 on the lines are running in that field. Oh, yes, they're running after that ball. And yes, ready to kick that ball, but are we the players or are we the ball? We can be kicked out of this body at any moment. Are we the players or are we the ball? Srila Prabhupada raises that question. Yes. So we waste our time playing. Durapurena kamina mohina chabalisyasya shesham grihi sushuktasya pramataya payatiha. One whose mind and senses are uncontrolled becomes increasingly attached to family life because insatiable lusty desires. I mean, sex. Yes, that's the Jews. Let's be frank. You know, what are we going to do without that? Sex. Yes. So many things we do for sex. Jogging. Are you also jogging? Yes, yes, yes. I'm jogging every day. Yes. So that I will be beautiful. Yes. Sex. Yes, yes, yes. Weight Watchers. Yes, yes, yes. Sex. I have a sexy car. I have a sexy phone. I have a saxophone as well. I have a sexy watch. Watch me. Yes. You know, sex is all over me. Oh, yes. Slim fit jeans. I mean, they are slim. I can hardly get in. You know, I can hardly get in. And to close them, oh my God, it hurts, but hold your breath and tie them down and zip up. And there you are, slim fit. Whoa. Yes. Yes, yes. Brahmananda told Prabhupada that in university he was writing an essay for a particular course. And in the essay, he wrote that everyone inherently is driven by a desire for spiritual truth. And he said that his teacher, his foolish teacher, had disagreed with him. It's a low battery, it says. Can you do something? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it seems to be on. Okay. So his teacher, his foolish teacher, he said that, no, that's totally wrong. Everything and everyone in this world is moved by sex. And Brahmananda was saying to Prabhupada, just see how foolish this materialistic teacher was. Prabhupada said, your teacher is right. Ko grihesu puman shaktam atmanam ajitendriya sneha pase drider badam utsahit vimochitum. What person too attached to household life, to being unable to control his senses, can liberate himself? An attached householder is bound very strongly by ropes of affection for his family, wife, children, and other relatives. Now, can we not love our children? Really? I mean, should we hate them? I mean, is this Krishna consciousness? Dear devotees, please make sure you hate your kids, because otherwise you get too attached to them. And that's not good, because then you get bound very strongly in ropes of affection. So, all right, we're going to have a hate session here. And everyone just pay attention and just say, I hate my kids. I hate them. Go take it a step further. I even hate my unborn kids, right? I even hate the idea of having kids. Is that Krishna consciousness? But when I read this verse, is that what I should understand? What person too attached to household life, due to being unable to control his senses, can liberate himself? Unattached householder is bound very strongly by ropes of affection for his family, wife, children, other relatives. What is this? No, we love our children, right? But yet, we must also have a transcendental perspective. Not that we think, oh, I will live in the form of this child. Prahlad was brought before his father 2 times. When his son was brought before him the second time, Prahlad had grown up a little bit, and Hiranyakasipu, according to the Narasimha Purana, was thinking that, he is doing so well. He has really learned this art very well. Let me enthrone him. I will enthrone my son. And the father lives in his son. How wonderful. Yes. Oh, yes, this son is part of me. Oh, yes. He's part of me. I live within him. We are one. And for a mother, of course, this son came from my own body, right? I mean, he's an extension of me, basically. It's my son is basically part of me. Right? It's like just, came from my body, right? And yeah, just like some people, they eat it because it's from their own body. Yes. It's from your own body. Come on. It's part of you. Yes, this child is part of me. Now, of course, the pure transcendental understanding is slightly different, dear devotees. My dear devotees, what I'm going to tell you now is of great importance for your spiritual life. So please pay full attention. Yes. Namely, we should understand that this child is an eternal spirit soul, and that this eternal spirit soul is on a journey which is steered by destiny, and that by destiny on this journey, this soul has now come in the womb of a particular lady, of a mother, who will soon give birth to this child. And the father has injected this child within the womb. And here he is, the little darling. the answer to our dreams. Yes, our baby. Ah, yes, but he's not the body. He is an eternal soul on his own destiny. And just therefore, he's not really yours. He is only under your care for some time, like anything, right? We learn when we have a book that we want to, and you know how it is. With devotees, you can put money, you can put on the table, it may still be there. You can forget your phone and they won't steal it, right? But there's two things. If you leave them on the table, right? And guaranteed they will be gone. One is sweets, right? There's no way that you can leave them on the table. They'll be gone in like less than seconds. And the other one is books, right? You leave a book on the table, and somehow or other a devotee will borrow it, right? You not take it, borrow it just to read it, and then forget to give it back. And then it's so long in the library that the devotee can no longer remember who the book was from, right? And so then it just stays in the library. Yes, yes, yes. Now, therefore, what we write our name in the book, right? But you cannot really write, this book is mine. No, 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 no. What we learn, we are supposed to write in the care of, and then big letters, Kadamba Kanana Swami, right? Yes. So if you have any books, you just write in there, in the care of Kadamba Kanana Swami, okay? And then it's clear. So in that way, we know. Anyway, so the books that you write in the care of and your name. And in this way, we appreciate this book is not mine, but it is in my care. This child, oh Jagannath Kirtanananda, sitting on your lap is not yours. This child is now slipping away from your hand. It's already gone. This child is not yours, oh Jagannath Kirtanananda. This child is only under your care. This child, the relationship you have with this child is not like that this child has something of his father or her father. I can't see if it's a boy or a girl. It's a very small box. But no, this child is a spirit soul who's an individual living being who's now under your care. Under your care. And what are you supposed to do? To give it as many blessings as you can. And for the rest, hallelujah. For the rest, it's up to God. It's up to God what destiny this child will attain. You place this child in the hands of God because this child has its own destiny, its own will. Oh yes, it will do what it wants to do. It will not listen to its parents. Oh, you think you have a nice obedient child, huh? Just wait a while and your child will rebel. We all know it well because we did it ourselves, huh? And still doing. All right. So anyway, that was a little bit of insight about family life, and we can see how Prahlad is speaking to his schoolmates. Yes, and it's very interesting. Oh, one sec. Now I'll go a little further. Let me go one level back. 1 second. Yes. And so anyway, Prahlad instructed his demoniac schoolmates about not wasting their time in pursuit of material enjoyment, but to carry on and focus on eternal benefit, on devotional service. Yeah, so Prahlad, the next chapter is called What Prahlad Learned in the Womb. We get a little flashback because we get basically the answer from how is it that Prahlad had all this knowledge? All right. And then, yes, then we are hearing in the next chapter, it's we're going straight to the action. And let's go there for a moment. Let me take you there, right in the thick of it. And let me open up a verse and let me see where we are. Okay. Mm. Yes, it continues where Prahlad is still instructing his demoniac schoolmates. So I have to go a little further. And now, and he's explaining how he received this. Let me just see. Am I in the right chapter? Oh, yeah, I'm in the wrong chapter. That's why. Okay. Hold on. Just a moment. Now I'm in the right chapter. Yes. So. Okay, I'm just hold on for a moment because I just want to find a nice beginning. Yes, okay. Prahlad Maharaj continued. My dear father, please give up your demoniac mentality. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. Make your mind equipoised toward everyone. Except for the uncontrolled and misguided mind, there is no enemy within this world. See, that's also, we have no enemy except for the mind. I mean, what Prahlad is saying, right? I mean, we can hang it on the wall. We can just take this one verse and hang it on the wall and remember, we have no enemy but for the mind. What a meditation. I mean, that is brilliant. Okay? We have no enemy but for the mind. I think it's a highlight of the day. Like it's, you know, we can sing it. We got no enemy but for the mind. Yeah. So if anyone plays guitar, there you go. You got yourself a song. In former times, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I've conquered all enemies in all the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies and is equipoised towards all living entities, for him there are no enemies. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. And Srila Prabhupada is going towards the Bhagavad Gita and says, Mana sastra nindriyani prakriti karsati, the 5 senses plus the mind. These are then the 6 enemies that are being referred to here. Then there is a list of 6 enemies given, which is commonly understood, and that is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsarya, or lust, greed, anger, madness, illusion, and envy. 6 enemies. Anyway, so we see that Prahlad is preaching to his father. Oh, Krishna. Now I pushed the wrong. Okay, go back. So Hiranyakasipu didn't like to be preached to. We all have experienced that it is quite difficult to preach to your parents, right? Generally speaking, they don't like it. I don't know if you noticed it, but if you get too preachy with your parents and say, you know, actually, you should, take up devotional service because, it's very sinful, actually. So it's like, now, please give us a break. There's this cartoon, and which I have in my collection, and there's a Hare Krishna sitting on a bed, and he's sitting in his bedroom, and in full dhoti, tilak, shaved head, and everything, right? And the parents come in the room, and the mother is speaking, and she says, "Your father and I have decided that we have absolutely no objection if you want to go back to becoming a drug addict." Yes, yes. Anything but a preacher. Oh my God. He's preaching to us. So Hiranyakasipu also didn't like that. And as many other fathers, Hiranyakasipu raised his voice and said, "You rascal, you are trying to minimize my value as if you are better than me at controlling senses. This is over intelligent. I can therefore understand that you desire to die at my hands, for this nonsensical talk is indulged in by those who are about to die." Okay. His father was not beating around the bush. His father was getting to the point, wasn't he? Kind of somewhat strong reactions, but fathers are known to have displayed strong reactions when their children started preaching Krishna consciousness to them. Yeah. But we are fortunate because we've got a powerful ally on our side. Oh, most unfortunate Prahlad, you have always described a supreme being other than me, a supreme being who's above everything, who's the controller of everyone and all pervading. But where is he? If he's everywhere, then why is he not present before me in this pillar? Aha. Okay, we're at the pillar. Everybody, wake up now. Don't miss this moment. We have come to the pillar. Yeah. Okay. So everyone with us, stop eating the chips. Jagannath Kirtanananda, don't get distracted by your kit now. Full focus on the pillar, okay? Otherwise, you're going to miss the whole thing. Yes. Because you're speaking so much nonsense, I now shall sever your head from your body. Now let me see your most worshipful God come to protect you. I want to see it. Being obsessed with anger, Hiranyakasipu, who was very great in bodily strength, thus chastised his exalted devotee son Prahlad with harsh words. Cursing him again and again, Hiranyakasipu took up his sword, got up from his royal throne, and with great anger struck his fist against the column. Then from within the pillar came a fearful sound, which appeared to crack the covering of the universe. Oh, my dear Yudhisthira, this sound reached even the abodes of the demigods like Lord Brahma. And when the demigods heard it, they thought, oh, now our planet is being destroyed. Oh, from Vishnu Rata, yes. Okay, this was the roar of Lord Sringadev when he came out of the pillar. And it's like it was just something extraordinary, because here was this sound, no one ever heard it. Everyone was immediately afraid. Hiranyakasipu, not yet. So the Lord had appeared from the column. While Hiranyakasipu looked all around to find the source of the sound, that wonderful form of the Lord which could not be ascertained to be either a man or a lion, emerged from the pillar. In amazement, Hiranyakasipu wondered, what is this creature that is half man, half lion? Yeah, so anyway, the fight goes on for a while, right? The fight goes on for a while, and Hiranyakasipu is trying to attack the Lord with a sword. Now, here, size-wise, Lord Sringadev is much bigger, and in fact, so much bigger that somewhere in the fight, the acharyas describe that Hiranyakasipu became invisible. Yeah? He became invisible, and somehow or other, Lord Sringadev found him stuck under his nail. That's how insignificant he actually was. Anyway, it became a whole thing, and eventually the Lord took him from under the nail, put him on his lap, and then, did the needful, right? Ripped out the intestines, and the blood was squirting everywhere. It says this is a favorite way of lions when they kill. They kind of rip from the middle. See, other animals that kill, they go for the throat, but lions, they rip from the middle and they just rip out, just like rip out the insides. So the Lord just ripped out the insides and, and just in the process, put the intestines around his neck like a guard, and then all the drops of blood were in his manes, and the blood was on his nails, and he looked quite, and there was also a big pool of blood on the floor. And then, the demigods had come to see this terrible fight because this terrible demon was about to be killed here, and they were all there witnessing the whole thing, and they all came, and then, it was terrible. And when he died, right, and Sringadev was so angry, all the demigods, they retreated in great fear. They did not dare to come near. Lord Brahma, then, being intelligent, knew what to do. He pushed Prahlad forward. He said, well, he came because of you go talk to him, all right? Push the 5-year-old kid in front of this huge lion form. Yes. Oh, yes. You go deal with it, and gave him a garland. And Prabhupada says, and here is the killer of his father. And what is Prahlad doing? He's giving a garland to the killer. So that was also interesting detail, which Prabhupada told us. Anyway, so here Hiranyakasipu has been killed. It is said because Hiranyakasipu could not fully recognize Sringadev as the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he had to take another birth, and he became Ravana in his next life. And so it continued. Anyway, very interesting, very, very interesting to see how all this is taking place. Later on, after that, Prahlad got the benediction of the Lord, who placed his hand on his head, and Prahlad offered many prayers. And yeah, of course, the famous prayer about Naitan Vihaya Vimumuksa Eko. I don't want liberation, Prahlad said. I feel too much concerned for all these suffering living beings who are in illusion, for all these fools and rascals. And therefore Prahlad did not want to go back to Godhead without delivering the fools and rascals. And that's another highlight in the whole thing, Prahlad's compassion and Prahlad's spirit of wanting to deliver the fools and rascals. And here we are. Well, line up, please. Will all fools and rascals please get in line, you know? All righty. Everybody line up now. All fools and rascals. Yes, they can line up. Prahlad's ready for you. Yes, yes, yes. Prahlad's waiting. Hey, any fools out there? Any rascals? Or combination of the two? All righty. Please line up now. Quickly, you know, we want to get this over and done with. Line up now, and yes, the job will be done really fast. You can all get the mercy of Prahlad simply by getting absorbed in Prahlad's example, in Prahlad's words. Everything about Prahlad is just wonderful and is just a blessing. Oh, Prahlad, let us remember Prahlad. And this is the funny thing. It is the Sringadev's appearance day, and we're talking about Prahlad. Because we go to the Lord through his devotees. Mahajani yena katha sapanta, one must follow in the footsteps of the Mahajans. And Prahlad happens to be mentioned as one of the 12 Mahajans. Prahladu, Janako, Bhishmo, he is in good company. Swayambur, Narada, Shambhu, Kumaru, Kapilo, Manu, Prahladu, Janako, Bhishmo, Balir, Vyasaki, Bayam, the 12 Mahajans, from Lord Brahma to the Kumaras, to Lord Shiva, to Kapilas, to Manu, to Prahlad, to Janak Maharaj, to Bhishma, to Vyasaki, Sukadev Goswami, right? All these personalities can deliver us. So, therefore, it is through Prahlad. Now, one little question before I end. And that question is, why are we worshipping Lord Nrsingadev? Isn't he a form of Lord Vishnu? So, and okay, for protection. Yeah, but can't Krishna protect us? I mean, Krishna's doing a pretty good job in protecting the residents of Vrindavan, right? He is like killing all these demons and so on. Krishna looks very capable. Do we really need the help of Nrsingadev? Why are we worshipping Lord Nrsingadev? So one reason is this, is that Krishna, right, when Srila Prabhupada says that his godbrother, who became a sannyasi, disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta by the name of Sadhananda, was a German professor, and he was very intelligent. He came to India, he saw all the deities in the different temples, and then he came to the temple of Krishna. He had seen so many deities holding weapons, and then he saw Krishna, and he said, this is God. This is God, because all these other deities, they're working. They're having weapons, they're working. But here, but he's enjoying. So Krishna is very much absorbed in enjoying his transcendental pastimes. And therefore, through his expansions, Krishna is dealing with the material world. So if we need some protection, all right, Krishna has sent his agent to protect Prahlad, although Prahlad was certainly already able to protect himself. It is very interesting that at one point, Hiranyakasipu, after he had tried to kill Prahlad in so many ways, that he was thinking, this boy is immortal. He's immortal. Here's Hiranyakasipu. He wants to be immortal, and now it looks like Prahlad is immortal. Anyway, this Prahlad, right, the immortal Prahlad, was indeed immortal. Lord Nrsingadev, the Supreme Lord, appeared not just to protect Prahlad, but to protect all who are trying to follow Prahlad and who are trying to be devotees of the Lord. And all those who are trying to be devotees of the Lord, Bahir Nisingo, Ridaye Nisingo. He is around us and he's also within our heart. And in our heart, through his kind compassion, as a lion who is very gentle to its cubs, the Lord will take away our material desires and make us like Prahlad, a Kanta Bhakti, one-pointed devotional service. And if we are there and give up all other attachments, then we are like Prahlad, and then attain perfection in life. Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Sri Sringadev Bhagavan ki jai, Sri Narasimha Chaturdashi Maha Mahotsav ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Now, I'm not going to take 100 questions. Oops, I just did something with the screen. I'm not going to take 100 questions, but I'm willing to take 3. All good things come in 3 questions. Then I'm escaping and going to do a little kirtan in Radhadesh to finalize these celebrations. And then I'm going to eat something, because then it's about time when twilight starts to happen. And that's what I'm waiting for. This is the time we are all anxious for. Oh, when will twilight come? The moment of the appearance of the Lord, when the full mercy is present. Yes. Okay. So quick, question number 1. I take it live. If you wrote it in the chat, too bad. I'm not looking at the chat. Yes, I see a hand. Rajashekar, go. Tirumala number 2. Who's number 3? One more hand. Quick. Bam.
Hi, Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you for the wonderful class. I was just thinking, I wanted to ask, with Hiranyakashipu being one of the greatest demons and having such a big false ego, how is it that he still recognized that the devatas were also superior in some way for him to want to go to do tapasya to get a boon from Lord Brahma? Because demonic people usually think that they're all powerful and don't need others.
There was not much philosophy involved. It was simply the custom. So he just thought, actually, he didn't think that these personalities were so very powerful. He just thought that it was the ritual. There's a little bit of karma mimamsa there, a little bit of a concept that if you just do the ritual, as most practitioners of Vedic culture who are only rendering lip service, they think if you do the ritual, then all the auspiciousness will come. Yes? So Hiranyakashipu's realization didn't go any further than that. Just somehow or other, if you do this ritual, then there's this power, and then Lord Brahma gets involved, but he's just an agent, really. He's not independent. He's bound. If the ritual has been properly performed, then he must sanction. See?
Okay. Thank you.
It's about the ritual, isn't it? Isn't that what your family has also been, at least previous generations, because your parents are devotees, but the previous generations, a ritual. That's what every good Indian is doing. So Hiranyakashipu was a good Indian.
Thank you, Guru.
Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj says that he says when one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshipping the Lord perfectly. So does that mean that we can only see equally our enemies and friends if we come to that point where we don't have any anathas and we're basically perfect, because otherwise we're looking.
you only can get there fully, you know what I mean? We can get there partially. Like right now, philosophically, we can try and see everyone equal, but deep down in our hearts, not yet, right? So it is a gradual process. First, it comes intellectually, philosophically. We try to practice this, and then gradually we begin to see it. And it's interesting because on the level of the soul, everyone is equal, but on the level of the body, not necessarily so, right? I mean, so we're looking at the soul, but we also see the body. So you see, oh, this is a big dog with big teeth. And then, okay, and that's a little nice little fluffy one. Yes, so then you'll have a different response externally, but internally, we see them all on the platform of the soul. So practicing, and now we are in the stage of sadhana bhakti, the stage of practice. Abhyasa yoga yuktena, we're trying to practice this vision of transcendental knowledge. And then we hope that it will one day go deeply into the heart. Thank you, thank you, Hare Krishna. And finally, the last question of the day before I skip out and go into the kirtan. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Sorry, we missed most of it, but we have a little question. It's about Lakshmi Devi. We don't hear much about Lakshmi Devi in Sringadev's pastime.
Yes.
Could you maybe enlighten us as to what her position is in reference to serving Lord Sringadev, and how should we consider Mother Lakshmi?
Lord Sringadev is none other than Lord Vishnu. It is said that in the spiritual world, Lord Sringadev has a four-armed form and not that half man, half lion. He particularly takes that form when he comes in this pastime with Prahlad. But there's no distinction between the two. And therefore, Lord Sringadev is always served eternally by Lakshmi Devi, who is always serving Lord Sringadev. However, we are particularly in our sampradaya approaching Lord Sringadev through Prahlad, because Prahlad is particularly the devotee who at all times takes shelter. So we are actually focusing our worship not on Lakshmi Nrsimha, but we are focusing our worship on Lakshmi Nrsimha is worshipping in awe and reverence, but Prahlad is particularly showing the mood of bhakti, and Prahlad is particularly showing the mood of the same mood as a follower of Lord Chaitanya. He is Paradukkha Dukhi. He wants to deliver all the conditioned souls. So therefore, our Istadev is Prahlad Nrsimha, Prahlad Nrsimha. And that is why you will not hear so much about Lakshmi Devi in our Sampradaya. You will hear a lot about Prahlad. Right? And that's why the Bhagavatam dedicates many chapters to Prahlad and not so many chapters to Lakshmi Devi, although we recognize that Lakshmi Devi is always absorbed in Pada Sevanam, in serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Dear devotees, I hate to run away. It was so much fun to be with you that I would love to stay longer, but live kirtan with devotees is waiting for me, and I am a hopeless addict. I cannot stay away from it. So although it's crazy, I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna do a little kirtan. If you want to follow that, you can log in on Radhadesh TV, and I will be there in about 5 minutes. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Shri Sringadev Bhagavan ki jai, Sri Narasimha Chaturdashi Mahamahotsava ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Prahlad Nrsimha ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitya Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari.
His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami ki jai. Thank you, Maharaj, for such an amazing class. We We were going to ask you if you would like to sing a short kirtan, but you have mentioned that you do have a hard stop shortly. So thank you so much, and we wish to have you again very soon. Thank you. So next we will have Gaura Arti by His Grace Nitai Kirtan Prabhu. So I will just make Nitai Kirtan Prabhu host, and we also have Radha Madhav, Shri Radha Madhav Darshan from ISKCON Leicester. So I'll be spotlighting Nitai Kirtan Prabhu. Can you unmute yourself? Can you hear us?
Krishna. So we'll start with Gaurarti, and then we'll go into Kirtan. So if you don't know the words to Gaurarti, you can always look it up. His Holiness Cardinal Karamaj's website, KK Songs, has the lyrics there nicely. Jai Shri Sringadev Bhagavan ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaura Nitai ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Kashobha Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Kashobha Janavitavane Jagamanalabha Janavitavane Jagamanalabha Daskini Taichan Bame Gadadhara Dachini Taichan Bame Gadadhara Nikhate Advaita Shini Vasa Chaturdashi Nikhate Advaita Shini Vasa Chaturdashi Vashi Achen Gauratan Ratna Singhasan Vashi Achen Gauratan Ratna Singhasan Arati Kaurena Adideva Dhane Arati Kaurena Adideva Dhane Nara Hari Adhikari Chamaradulaya Nara Hari Adhikari Jaya Mukunda Vasu Vasajidaya Shankar Bhaje Kanta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala Shankar Bhaje Kanta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala Madhura Mridanga Bhaje Paramadashala Madhura Mridanga Bhaje Paramadashala Shankar Bhaje Ganga Bhaje Madhu 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 Bhaje 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 Antipa 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 Gaura Antipa Mithai Gaura Antipa Haripa Antipa Mithai Gaura Bhagavati Chandaji Vadana Ujvala Bhagavati Chandaji Vadana Ujvala Gala Deshe Bana Mala Kare Jala Mala Gala Deshe Bana Mala Kare Jala Mala Shiva Ashuka Narada Emegada Gada Shiva Ashuka Narada Emegada Gada Gaurara Shankara Akati Gaurara Shankara Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Sande Arati Krishna Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Sande Arati Krishna Janavi Tatavane Jagamana Bhava Janavi Tatavane Jagamana Bhava Gaurange Tatadeshava Jagajana Bhalava Gaurange Tatadeshava Jagajana
Prabhu
Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Hari 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 Nitai Gaura Jai Shri Radha Madhav Bhagavan ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Shri Gauri Dai ki Jai Shri Sringadev Bhagavan ki Jai Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai ISKCON Guru Vrinda ki Jai Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Hidai Gaten Bro, for that ecstatic Gaura Arti. I'm sure everyone really enjoyed that. So thank you very much. Now I'll pass over to His Grace Jagannath Kirtananda Prabhu, who will be singing Narasimha prayers. So please hold on tight. After Narasimha prayers, we have some announcements as well to follow. So over to you, Jagannath Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Sringadev Bhagwan ki jai. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Daine. Pralada Lada Daine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankanakaya. Shilatankanakaya. Ito Narasimha, Parato Narasimha. Ito Narasimha, Parato Narasimha. Yato Yato Yanitato Narasimha. Yato Yato Yanitato Narasimha. Mahe Narasimho, Hidaye Narasimho. Mahe Narasimho, Hidaye Narasimho. Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. Tava Karakamala Mahe Nakama Buddha Simha. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Kesharadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare Swami. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Tavakarakamala Mahe Nakama Buddha Sangha. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa. Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Keshavadita Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. Keshavadita Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Swami Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Narasimhadev, 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 Jai Narasimhadev, Jai Prahlad Maharaj, Jai Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jai Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jai Guru Deva, Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Jai Guru Deva, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Guru Hari Bol. Sringadev Bhagwan ki jai, Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Jagannath Kirtananda Prabhu. What a beautiful way to conclude today's program. So thank you so much for the service of singing the Sringadev Arti. So we have come to the end of today's amazing program of Sringadev Chaturdashi. So firstly, before we look at the announcements, I'd just like to thank on behalf of ISKCON Birmingham and ISKCON Birmingham Festival team, ISKCON Leicester and His Grace Pradyumna Prabhu for organizing this wonderful festival today. At one point we had about 130 attendees, I believe, which is amazing. So it looks like we should do definitely some more joint programs together. I would also like to thank again His Grace, His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj as well for an amazing class, and also His Grace Jagat Bandhu Prabhu for the yogya at the beginning of the program, and again His Grace Nitai Kirtan Prabhu and His Grace Jagannath Kirtananda Prabhu for their wonderful kirtans. So just some announcements on behalf of ISKCON Birmingham. We have on Friday the 28th of May is a class on the Holy Name at 8 a.m. in the morning by His Grace Narayan Keshav Das and Her Grace Radharani Rati Prada Devi Dasi Mataji. Also Saturday the 29th of May, this Saturday, we have food for all distribution taking place at 1:15 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. We also have on Saturday 29th of May, Harinam starting in Birmingham City Centre at 12 p.m. I think we are able to drive to other cities as well, so it'd be nice to see some Leicester devotees chanting with us in Birmingham City Centre, and that is from 12 a.m. till 12 p.m. till 4 p.m. That is also with the festival team themselves. Giri Prabhu and the festival team, I think, will be coming on that Saturday. So we also have the College of Vedic Studies Sanskrit course, which is starting on the 12th of June 2021 at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for 6 weeks at the cost of £20 for the whole course. So that's for 6 weeks. So please do get in contact with ISKCON Birmingham on if you require any further information. And also during this time, we've had many devotees leave their body, and it's a difficult time. But however, devotees in general would love to be surrounded with devotees at that time of their passing. So we have started an end of life support group, where if we have any family members in our congregation, not just our congregation, but we've got Leicester on board as well. And now, so anyone in the Midlands who are losing a loved one and are kind of at the end of their life, we will arrange kirtans, readings of Vedic scriptures, talks and final rite ceremonies during the difficult time for you and the family. So please do get in touch if this applies to anyone. So I believe that is it from me. On behalf of ISKCON Birmingham, we'd like to say to everyone, still please remain safe. Hare Krishna as well. And I believe His Grace Pradumna Prabhu would also like to say a few points as well. So I will pass over to His Grace Pradumna Prabhu. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Puneet Prabhu. Thank you for those announcements. I wish I was announcing a Harinam in Leicester City. We're still not there yet here in Leicester, but good to see that you are in Birmingham. It was a lovely collaboration. I want to thank you all, devotees of Birmingham, for joining in today. And we were able to share the association of His Holiness Kadamba Maharaj and his very dramatic presentation of Lord Narasimhadev's appearance. So thank you to Rasaraj Prabhu, Puneet Prabhu, Ravi Prabhu, Nitai Kirtan Prabhu. Nice to hear Kirtan from you after a long time, I guess. And Jagannath Kirtananda Prabhu, very sweet Narasimhadev prayers to conclude our day. And thank you all the Leicester devotees who have gathered today, not only gathered today, but have been serving leading up to today's festival with the beautiful outfit that was offered to Radha Madhava this morning. And many thanks to Seva Priya Mataji and the growing team that we have of devotees who are sewing for Radha Madhava and making outfits and jewelry and so on, and the decoration of their altar, albeit in very confined situation in terms of being together and so on. And also this evening's night outfit, which is also being offered to them today. Thanks to all the sponsors for the outfits, for the jewelry, and for the decorations. And thanks to Jagat Bandhu Prabhu for the lovely elaborate yagya, praying on behalf of all the devotees and for those who had sponsored the yagya as well. So may Lord Narasimhadev protect us all in our endeavors for devotional service, and may we all continue to aspire for each other's association and stay connected by chanting the holy names of the Lord and in our devotional activities. So thank you all so much. Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Thank you all so much. And now I guess the only thing left for the evening is to collapse into some prasadam. Hare Krishna. Thank you all.